Lo metto. Ah, ok.
Buonasera mister.
Sera.
Dunque, nella storia i grandi generali prima di una
In
battaglia
history, great generals always slept well before an important battle. What will you do tonight? I would like to know what you're going to do. Yeah, of course we will sleep, yes. We will sleep, tonight, hopefully not tomorrow. There is a lot of expectation. For us, it's like an award being here, a prize to be able to play a match like this. It's a very difficult match, but in the history of Atalanta, it's a moment that we have to view very positively. And of course, we hope to be able to play well and to make a good impression. We are playing one of the best teams in the world. Good evening. Mr. Guardiola's compliments. Are you proud about them? And what kind of game? He said they were going to play their match, that they weren't going to defend. So what should we expect since the framework has been set? Obviously his compliments are very welcome. I've got nothing to add to what has already been said about Guardiola, not just as a coach but also as a human being. He made a really nice gesture towards me, and I can't forget that. And this makes today's occasion even more poignant. The fact that we are here and we are able to play them, I'm very proud of this. Obviously, a football match can provide surprises. We come here, we know they're very strong, we know to play a good match internationally. We need to play according to our strengths, which is what allowed us to come as far as here. We have to be humble, we cannot afford to be arrogant, but we have to be confident that we can play a good match. We mustn't play in a different way from what we normally play. Here we have the best attacking players in Serie A and in Premiership. What do you think? It will be a complicated match. Yes, of course, not just in attack, but the entire team is very strong. As Mr. Gasperini said, is one of the strongest teams in the world. But we also are a solid team, and tomorrow we want to show that we can play anyone and play our game as we always do. Of course, we have to defend as well as we possibly can, because they are very good at scoring, they have quality players, but we have to be brave, and we have to be confident that we will be able to play a good match. Mr. Gasperini, you spoke about the Lazio and statement. No, I'm here to take part in a joyous occasion in a party, and I don't want to comment on that. That's just, I don't want to comment on that. And another point, you're a bit short of defenders. Well, we still have a few, we still have some. Unfortunately, we lost Palomino on Sunday, and yesterday Kieran suffered a slight problem during training. It's only a slight problem, but we won't be able to have him on the pitch tomorrow. Hopefully it won't take long for him to recover. But we have a very consolidated defense. They've been playing together for a long time. They played really well last year, so I am sure we will be able to compete. So we have only the 3 defenders left that are not injured. So obviously, how do you plan to use them? And then what about Marten? What difference will there be in the match tomorrow? At the moment, I don't see how we can experiment too much in a match like tomorrow's match.
La partita è un premio per l'anno che abbiamo fatto l'anno scorso.
Yeah, this match is a prize for the success we managed to achieve last year. It's always a very special match when you play Man City. They have all the strongest players, so it's a more special match than usual. The stadium, the atmosphere. Playing in Champions is always a special experience, but here expectations are very high. Good evening. Could you please tell us a bit more about this special gesture you mentioned? I've spoken about this before. It was many years ago, but when I was sacked by Inter, Stiarte, Guardiola's right-hand man, called me, so he invited me to go to Barcelona to spend a few days with them. It was a very nice gesture from a human point of view, because I was going through a difficult moment. Barcelona was on top of the world, and Barcelona's coach calls you and shows his appreciation. It was something I will never forget. So, regardless of the fact that he's an amazing coach, I would like to stress this episode because this shows he's a genuine human being. Good evening, Paolo Pacchioni, RTL. Man City is an incredibly strong team. What worries you most about them tomorrow? City is a very strong team because they have quality player, but also know how to play as a team. It's one of the very few teams that can put together so many quality players in an effective way. Guardiola achieved that with Bayern and has repeated it here with Man City. So great teams are teams that are able to attack, are able to defend, are able to play as an ensemble. And by doing this, you multiply the quality and the value of the individual player, and you create a team that can offer lots of different options, lots of variables, and therefore these teams are much more difficult for opponents to play against. So for us, it will be very important to be able to play our game, otherwise we will be at the mercy of Man City, which is exactly what happened to a lot of teams over the last few years. And I will be very sorry to see that happen, even though I would be in good company, because I've seen very well-established teams in trouble against them, but we would like to avoid that if possible. I would like to ask you how much you will miss Zapata for this match. He is a player that is very difficult to replace, also for his physical strength. And Marten, the midfielder, the City midfielder, is very good at controlling the ball. So how do you plan to oppose their midfielders since they are so good with the ball? Obviously, a player like Zapata will be missed, but that's the sad truth. Last Sunday against Lazio, we managed to compensate quite well. Of course, we will be missing an alternative, either from the starting 11 or later on in the match. It's a very important alternative. But we know that we will have to play without him for a few more weeks, and the same applies for the defense. We know that over an entire season we can have some difficult moments. Keeping fingers crossed, we've been fairly lucky up to now, but our team has the resources to compensate these absences. Yes, I believe we have prepared very well to play City, also to play against their midfielders. We know it's a very capable, very skilled midfield. We will play in the same way that we played against Juventus or against Napoli. Man City is better at controlling the ball, but we have to play our game, we have to attack, we have to be aggressive, we have to play and see what happens. I don't think we have to change much. We have to believe in our game and in our qualities.
Martin, 3 years ago you had a great moment here when you scored a late equaliser for Middlesbrough. What of that moment?
Can I answer in English? Yeah. Yeah, it was a great moment. I remember very good. Because if you score against Manchester City away in the last minute, it's something you remember for always. I remember we were suffering for 90 minutes, and then at the end we crossed the ball, and I don't know why I was there, but I was there, and then especially the scenes after in front of the away fans was unbelievable. Was great. Was one of the best things of my career. So that was a very good memory, and it was nice to come back here.
Per noi è difficile capire da fuori quanto possano crescere i giocatori.
Understand how much players can grow. So every now and then we ask how far has Muriel gone in terms of endurance. Can he last 90 minutes, or is he already there, or does he still have to improve, and will this play a role in your choice tomorrow? Well, Muriel had a few issues. He had a few issues with his knee, and then tonsillitis that slowed down his recovery, but he played on Saturday and he played well. He's ready. It's never easy to say for a striker, because the strikers are the ones that get changed more often. This happens in all teams, but he has no issues, no problems at the moment. Obviously, if he can play a few consecutive matches, he will be even better. In addition to Muriel, we've seen maybe a number of players that were a bit tired after the game with Lazio. For example, also Gomez. So I would like to know whether they have recovered, whether they are ready to go. And what's the atmosphere in the changing room now that you have done your first training session? Is there a lot of enthusiasm? I haven't seen anyone tired. Maybe I didn't look carefully enough, but I don't think anyone is tired. It's fine. If they were tired on Saturday, it's fine. If they are as tired as they were on Saturday, it's fine. Are you tired? No, I'm never tired.
Oh, c'è tanta voglia.
We're very keen. We're very keen. Everybody's very keen. When we are on this pitch, the pitch is amazing. The stadium is amazing. Of course, there is a lot of emotion. We have to work very hard before the match, during the match. We have to do our best.
Speriamo
We hope
di fare bene
to do well and to play at our highest level. If we can do that, I'm very confident in this. I've got plenty of confidence in this team.
Far vedere a chiunque che sa.
And we can show anyone that we are a team that is growing and we have deserved to be here. Going back to Guardiola, I would like to know whether you've got some ideas from him, especially when you visited him in Barcelona, because basically Gasperini and Guardiola play the same game, an offensive attacking game. They want to entertain, but they also have a different approach, more aggression, more control of the ball. For Man City, would you like to play like that as well, or you've got your own game? But each team is a bit different. Guardiola has been and still is a benchmark in the world for many coaches and many managers. A lot of people admire this ability to recover the ball very quickly, which was already apparent when he was with Barcelona. The ability to play with a lot of offensive players in the last 20 meters, creating these chains. It's obvious. You always learn something from the best. Nobody ever invents anything. You copy something here, something there, and you try to adapt it to what you have. Obviously, he is a manager that has influenced the entire game of football. And I've always admired the qualities and the skills of his teams. You can see that the manager has left his imprint on the teams. In the case of Guardiola, he managed to do that even with Bayern. Bayern was already a big team, a great team, but he was able to change the way they played. So this is why he's so great.
In this country, City are favourites to win the Champions League, but Pep Guardiola this week has again said he doesn't think they're quite ready yet. What's the view from outside of England, from Italy maybe? How strong do you think Manchester City are? Do you think they are favourites to win the competition?
Yeah, that's difficult to say if they're the favourites to win the Champions. Of course, they're one of the favourites, that's for sure, because last year they arrived in the semi-final and they lost in a maybe horrendous way with the goal in the last minute that was cancelled by the VAR. From the outside we see City as one of the favourites, especially also what they do in the Premier League, where they won last year with so many points different, together with Liverpool, so many points difference the league. For us they have two teams. They can 22 players or maybe even more that they can play. So. Yeah, they have so much possibilities. So from the outside, they're for certain one of the favorites, and we have all respect for them. But we have to play our game.
Una domanda. Vabbè, sono qua. Tutte e due, cosa resta alla partita di sabato?
What is left after the match on Saturday? Thinking about tomorrow, are you proud? Are you cross? Are you disappointed? I don't even think about it. I've forgotten about it. I'm not thinking about it anymore. We play every 3 days. We cannot afford to brood over games we've played before. And it will be the same on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I will already be thinking about Udinese. We have a number of matches within a short period of time. They're all very important for all the championships and the leagues we are playing in. So once the match is over, you move on to the next one. Yes, the same for me. You learn something and you move on to the next one. Gian Piero, the last questions. You have talked about lots of things. One of your former players, Thiago Motta, said, has he really gone to Genoa? So he said, I'm very happy that Thiago will start from Genova. Apart from the match, he will have to play against us, but it will take some time. It won't happen immediately. I wish him well. Thiago, for me, was a fantastic player. It's a real story. When there is more time, I will tell you this story, but it was a very important moment, both for myself and for him. He kind of relaunched himself, because then he went on to Inter, Paris Saint-Germain, and recovered a career that seemed to be in a downhill spiral. We respect each other, we think highly of each other, and I hope he will be able to do well.